I will now be performing the zygomatic arch series. I got the order on the computer and I got the requisition, I checked it and they are both the same, and I am now going to go set it up for the series. I'll grab a 8x10 film and bring it over here and put it in my bucket. I'll put it in portrait and I'll make sure the tube is set up, all detented, and is at 40 inches. And I will now go. Hi, Priscilla?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Evan. I'll be taking your x-rays today.
Alright.
Can you verify your date of birth for me?
August 1st, 1992.
And you want to come with me?
Sure.
And what are we here for today?
I got in a fight last night and I've had like really bad swelling on my left side of my eye.
Alright. We'll take some pictures of that. And is there any chance you could be pregnant?
No way.
No? Alright. And can you go ahead and remove all your jewelry and everything for me over here?
Sure.
And then you can come on over and take pictures. I will now be performing the SMV view for the zygomatic arch. I have my 8x10 film in the bucky, portrait. I have my chair set up for my patient, and my patient will come in, and I have them shielded with the apron on the front, and I will have them tilt their head back, just like that, and touch the IR with the IOML parallel to the IR, with my tube coming in perpendicular at 1 inch posterior to the outer canthi. And I will place my marker on the correct side of the patient. I will be using the cone on this, but we do not have it. And I will use a 75/10 mass technique. Okay, I will now be performing the tangential AP zygomatic arch. I will be using the 8x10 film portrait, and we'll line it up with my bucky. And I have my patient shielded. I'm doing this once supine on the table. I'm going to have the patient make a parallel with the IOML to the IR, and have my tube coming down perpendicularly at 40 degrees, or 40 inches. And I'll have their head tilt from the mid-sagittal plane 15 degrees, and the top of the head will be tilted 15 degrees away from the cheek I am looking at. So now I will have the patient make the IOML parallel, and we'll have their head tilt 15 and 15. Just like that, with the head tilting away from the side I'm looking at. And I have my perpendicular central ray will be at 1 inch posterior to the outer canthi, and is aiming at the affected zygomatic arch I'm looking for. And I can go ahead and cone down on this, and I will place my marker right here on top of the table. And the technique I'll be using will be about 70/8 mass. Alright. I will now be performing the May method zygomatic arch. I'll be using, once again, an 8x10 film portrait with my tube 40 inches perpendicular to the IR. And for all the zygomatic arches, we would be using a cone, but we don't have one here, so we're pretending it's there for all my images. And for this one, I'm going to have the patient extend their chin as far as they can, trying to get that IOML parallel to the image receptor. And I'll be entering the patient at 1.5 inches posterior to the outer canthi on the affected zygomatic arch that we were looking at. And the patient's head will be rotated 15 degrees from the mid-sagittal plane, and the top of the head will be tilted away from the zygomatic arch that we are interested in. So go ahead and have the patient extend their chin all the way as far as they can, Get the eye wall now perpendicular. And gonna move it over a little bit and get right on there, lined up with the zygomatic arch that we're looking for. Cone down here a little bit. And then the patient is just at the 15 and 15 degree rotation. And I will now mark the correct side of the patient. And the technique I'll be using is about 70 kV at 8 mass for this. And that completes this study. This is the SMV view for the zygomatic arches. In this, the structures you are looking for the temporal process of the zygomatic bone and the zygomatic arch. The criteria is for proper collimation, the zygomatic arch is free from overlapping structures, and the zygomatic arch is symmetric and without foreshadowing, and you want no rotation of the head. This is the tangential projection for the zygomatic arch. The structures you are looking for is the temporal process of the zygomatic bone, the zygomatic arch, and the temporal bone. The criteria for this is the zygomatic arch free from overlying structures. You don't want the zygomatic arch overexposed. Here's the tangential May method for the zygomatic arches. I was unable to find any images, extra images of this method in Merrill's or in any of the material online. So this is the image I will be using. And the structures you are looking for are the zygomatic arch and the temporal process of the zygomatic